Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Absolutely, let's do it.
Today we're taking a closer look at a field that's all about making things work, about making them better. Process engineering technicians.
Sounds interesting.
Now, when you hear process engineering technician, you might be thinking assembly lines, right? Maybe a bit of grease.
It does have that ring to it, yeah.
But hold on, because this career path, it's way more dynamic than those images. We're talking about sustainability, saving money, even some really cool high-tech stuff like AI coming into play.
It really is a different world out there now in manufacturing. Today, you need a sharp eye, got to be great at solving problems, and ready to learn new tech because it changes so fast.
So let's get specific. What does a process engineering technician actually do all day? What we got from RoleCatcher makes them sound like the crucial link between the big picture engineering and what actually happens on the factory floor.
That's a great way to put it. They are the bridge, and it takes a special mix of know-how and people skills.
What do you mean?
Well, think of them like the conductor of an orchestra. Each instrument has to play its part perfectly, right? For a process engineering technician, those instruments are each step in making something. Got to make sure it all comes together.
So it's more than just following the instructions. They're actively trying to make the whole operation better.
Exactly. They aren't afraid to get in there, analyze data, always searching for that edge to make things smoother, quicker, and save money in the process.
They are the link between an idea and a finished product you can actually hold.
Precisely.
I bet that's rewarding, seeing how your work makes a real difference in the final product.
You know it. Imagine fixing a problem that's been slowing down production, and bam, your solution boosts output by 20%. It's that kind of impact that makes people love their jobs, you know? You're not just working on a product, you're making the whole system more efficient, more sustainable, and that means happier customers at the end of the day.
I gotta say, you've piqued my curiosity. So we've got this picture of a process engineering technician, someone who's analytical, hands-on, a real problem solver. But what about the environment itself? Are we talking about a life stuck on the factory floor?
Not always. That's one of the big myths we need to bust. Yeah, some jobs are right there on the line, but you find process engineering technicians in labs, offices, even research centers.
Now you've got me picturing clean rooms, high-tech gear, maybe even a lab coat or two.
You got it. And with all this automation in manufacturing, they are often the ones leading the charge. Imagine working with fancy software, robotics, even dipping their toes into the world of AI.
So we're talking high-tech, solving tough problems, a job that never gets boring. Sounds like something with a future, right?
Yeah.
What's the demand like for these process engineering technician folks?
You're reading my mind. It's a field that's only growing. Every industry out there, they all want to be leaner, faster, more efficient, right? That means they need the people who can make that happen.
So anyone listening who's looking for job security, this is good news. But let's get real for a sec. Every job has its ups and downs. If someone's thinking, hey, this is me, what should they be ready for, good and bad, with this career?
I like that you're thinking about the whole picture. On the plus side, and we've touched on this, the job satisfaction is high. You make a real impact. But beyond that, there's room to grow. You get to play with cutting-edge tech, and hey, who doesn't love seeing something they helped make out in the world, right?
That's a pretty sweet deal. But you mentioned the other side, the challenges. What are those?
Well, one thing that comes to mind is you gotta have an eye for detail. Like, really pay attention. In a complicated manufacturing process, even a tiny mistake can snowball into a big issue. Precision is key.
Makes sense. So much depends on them keeping things running smoothly. But isn't that attention to detail something you get better at over time, with experience?
Absolutely, you hit the nail on the head. It's all about practice, about really understanding how everything connects. And honestly, that ability to spot a problem before it happens, that's gold in any job, not just this one.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, so let's say someone's starting out.
Mm.
What does the career path actually look like? Where do you begin, and where can this road take you?
A lot of folks, they start out assisting the more experienced technicians.
Like an apprenticeship.
Kinda, yeah. They might be monitoring equipment, keeping track of data, doing some of the regular maintenance stuff, getting to know the ropes.
Getting their hands dirty.
Yeah.
Really learning how things work from the ground up.
That's the idea. Then, as they gain experience, get more knowledge under their belt, they can take on more specialized roles. They might start tackling tougher troubleshooting, finding ways to make processes even better, or even designing new systems altogether.
So there's room to grow, to really make it your own.
You got it.
And what about leadership, management? Is that a possibility down the line for a process engineering technician?
Definitely. Experience is key, plus having those leadership skills. They could end up supervising, running projects, making those big decisions that affect the whole operation. Some even go into consulting, sharing their know-how with different companies.
So we're not talking about a dead-end job. It's a whole career with a future. Now, I notice in the RoleCatcher notes there's mention of certifications. What's the deal with those? Anything in particular that stands out as valuable in this field?
You're right, certifications can really give you an edge. Shows you're serious about your career. One that comes to mind right away is the CPT.
CPT.
Yeah, Certified Process Technician.
What's so special about it?
It's kind of a big deal in the manufacturing world, recognized everywhere. It tells employers you understand the industry standards, best practices, all that good stuff.
So it's a way to stand out, prove you've got the skills to back it up.
Exactly. And let's not forget, studying for an exam like that keeps your skills sharp. It forces you to keep learning new technologies, stay ahead of the curve in a field that's always changing.
Speaking of changing, with tech advancing so quickly, what do you see in the future for these technicians? Any crystal ball predictions?
Now that is the million-dollar question, and I'll admit, it's one I think about a lot. But here's the thing that gets me excited. Automation is getting bigger every day, right, Ed? But that doesn't mean humans are out of the picture. In fact, it makes process engineering technicians even more important. They become the bridge between human ingenuity and all that fancy automated tech.
So not replaced by robots, but working with them.
Exactly. It's about making sure those robots, all that technology, is actually working for us, making things more efficient, safer, just plain better. And that's where process engineering technicians come in.
That's a much more optimistic way to look at it. Not humans versus machines, but working together.
Exactly. And honestly, that's what makes this whole career path so exciting. You can make a real difference now and in the future.
That's a fantastic point to end on. A huge thank you to our expert for this incredible deep dive. Listeners, we hope you've learned something new and maybe even found your next career path. Be sure to check out our show notes for even more information on this topic. Until next time, keep exploring and keep on learning.